What happened was that after a lot of talks and a little singing, the talks that we didn't understand particularly, there stood a tall, gray-haired old man to speak. And I did not remember what he said, but I got the impression that here stood an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. That was George Albert Smith, who later became president of the church. And when we look back at the memories here of the place that we lived and grew up, that really is home, the center place for our family, yet this is a very sacred event. Only 2 of us of the 11 children are alive, myself and my sister Donna. She's here. Donna, would you stand up, please? Donna is 3 years older than I am, and so if you calculate from what I said earlier, you know that she's 89. She's lived in California, came from California for this occasion, and she's been Relief Society president those many times in the growing church. She recently received a 50-year honor from Boy Scouts of America. She's a Boy Scout. And remember here coming to school on this spot. Well, now, the purpose of it all. Temples are being built all around the world. And I'm getting a little rickety, but I feel confident in promising you that I'll be back for the dedication of the temple here in Brigham City. And I think that I'll have enough authority then to get myself assigned. Be one who will participate. There are so many things that come to mind as we look at the place where we were born, in a community that was a pioneer community, and the challenges that were faced. In the block just west, one of the pioneers planted some peach trees. He bought the stones from someone who bought them in Salt Lake on the street for a penny apiece, and he planted a small orchard of peach trees just about a block west of here. And of course, there's a great fruit growing area. The trees were just about ready to have their first berry when the announcement was given that all these settlements would be vacated and everyone would move south. Johnson's army was on the way. I don't remember his name, and you can forgive me if my memory isn't as sharp as it was 2 years ago, but he pioneered the peach industry here. When they left some to guard the property, the homes, and so on, and he obtained a promise from one of the brethren who was going to watch the community to water his precious peach trees. Now, when we unveil the picture of the temple, you may be able to see that on the panel of the temple, there's a blossom, a flower. It's a peach blossom. And it is symbolic of who we are and what we are. And then in due time, after I'd been in the military for 4 years, I came home and found Donna Smith, the Peach Queen, and she became Sister Packer, and we have traveled around the world. I've traveled 2.5 million miles. I think she's traveled about most of that. Been everywhere there is, but everywhere we go, there's always Brigham City. And that draws us here. We've had the opportunity, and having served as a general authority now for 50 years of knowing something about the growth of the church. You may wonder, and this may surprise you, I had nothing to do deliberately with the locating of a temple here in Brigham City. I was too busy to think about it. And it came up through the normal, regular processing. And I wasn't aware that there's going to be a temple in Brigham City until it was announced that President Monson was coming up here to choose a site. He called and said, I'd like you to go with me. We're leaving in about 30 minutes. That's about the notice we get. If we're going overseas, we'll get an hour. And, we came up and stood on this site, and memories. Now I can see in my mind's eye a temple sitting here in about 2 years' time. It will be gorgeous. It will be white. You'll see in the design of it reflections of previous temples that have been built, particularly the Salt Lake Temple. And you'll know that it will be a beacon from all over the valley. The brethren in those days had decided that they would build a tabernacle about 2.5 miles north here on the side of the creek. Brigham Young came and looked that over, and he vetoed it. And he said, no, you build a tabernacle up on Sagebrush Hill. That's where we are right now. And the tabernacle was built on Sagebrush Hill, which is the highest prominence in the area here. What's been going on in all those years? Well, people have been teaching classes and ordaining and sending out missionaries. They've been living the gospel, sometimes with great struggle, and contributing their tithes and offerings to the building of meeting houses and temples. And now a temple will be in Brigham City, and it will be a symbol of who we are and what we are. Brigham City. A lot of the communities in the early Utah, they're named after various of the leaders of the church. But Brigham is named after Brigham Young, the great prophet who's led the church for over 30 years and who was indeed every inch a prophet. They were having a celebration on the 24th of July up in the mountains above Salt Lake City. They'd gone up there in wagons and up the steep canyon road to celebrate together. And as they were assembled, some horsemen came in. There was some brethren came up with an emergency message for President Young. And they told him that Johnson's army had been dispatched to come to Utah to put down the uprising, which did not exist, of course. Brigham Young had been driven out of Kernan, Ohio, out of Missouri, out of Far West, out of Nauvoo, and leaving homes and properties. And for the first time, Brigham Young dug in his heels.